Welcome! It's an infuriating day to be a miner. This beside me is the Canaan Avalon Q, and today we're going to talk about the saga of the acquisition of the Avalon Q, the legendary tale of how we acquired this thing, and basically let's sum it up with one quick thing. DHL, you are trash. We're going to get into it, but first, let's spin that intro. Alright, again, this is the Canaan Avalon Q. It is a beautiful device. It is a Bitcoin miner. It has 3 different modes, and it runs like up to 90 terahash on the SHA-256 Bitcoin algorithm and all kinds of other great nuances about this device. And if you want to know anything about it, you want to see the unboxing, the specs, the details, the features, go ahead and check out the video up above. Today, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about our acquisition of this thing and the pain that we've went through. So I had to actually leave some time to let all this simmer, gather all my thoughts and my details, because I didn't want to be completely unprofessional and completely lopsided with my bashing of how everything was handled. But yeah, without further ado, let's dig into this thing. So yeah, we did acquire this thing. It's been running beautifully ever since we finally got it hooked up. Let's deem this the saga of the Canaan Avalon Q. So we originally purchased this thing from Indiegogo, and if you don't know what Indiegogo is, it is like a Kickstarter type site, and they've actually released all of their new products there in conjunction with their main site well before they ever launch. It's like a crowdsourcing site, and we've had no issues up until now. We've ordered a number of the Canaan, the Mini 3s, the Canaan Avalon 3, that would be the little small heater type. These guys, we ordered the first models, like 4 of them, then we ordered a couple of the newer models, and yeah, these guys, they're really sleek devices, but we've ordered these. We ordered the Canaan Mini 3. That is the big, long baseboard heater. Man, that thing's gonna be so nice now that winter's rolling around soon. Check out the video up above for that one, where we went in all depth in it as well. And we've had 0 issues, right? 0 issues. This thing, the day that it dropped, it first was announced on the Indiegogo site and the Canaan site, we went ahead and put in our pre-order. We went ahead and paid for this thing. So how much did we pay for it? We paid $23.64 SGD, so that's Singapore dollars. So how much is that in US dollars? So we paid $1,680 US, and that is counting shipping. That should be everything to door, right? We ordered on March 1st with an estimated ship of May, because they didn't actually have the concrete date of release, because that's usually the way these things go. And finally around June 5th, it was supposed to be May, finally around June 5th, this thing shipped. So we finally got it to ship. We're excited. It's on the way. It arrived at our DHL's nearest delivery facility, about 2 hours away from here, only 2 hours drive away from here, on June 9th. So it took 4 days to get from China to the DHL nearest spot. We received a text message that we owe duties of $900 US. $900 US dollars on a $1,680 purchase. Yeah, that's a big one, right? And we're thinking this can't be right, so instantly we go out to Twitter, we go out and we start sourcing people. We ask any other people that have bought any, what they've paid, what they've been billed. After a few hours of researching, we decided, okay, we're appealing these charges. This is too much, this is ridiculous. So we opened an appeal case with DHL. Again, painful process to get started. But we got it started, we got the appeal in, it got rolling. They came back after the appeal and they said, yeah, you're right, we did overcharge you. And during that whole process, we went out and we researched the different codes that are, because that's how they bill it, is based on whatever ICD codes they put in there for what kind of item it is, where it's from, and how it should actually be billed, and yada, yada, yada. And we went down this huge rabbit hole, spent a lot of hours researching. But we put in our appeal, and we ended up getting back a bill of $500. I was like, well, $500 on 1680, it's not bad, it's not good, it's not bad, but it, less than 30% or whatever. So we're like, that's fine. But then we we also had my man Sloth Squatch. Shout out to my boy Sloth Squatch. Same exact thing, received at the same time, same date, ordered the same time. His bill came exactly the same. It was coded the same. It was over 900. He appealed his, so he appealed his. Then he won his appeal. His new bill was like $300. My new bill was $500. So I was like, okay, well, that was on Wednesday morning, 6/11. I'm like, whatever. We're just gonna pay the bill, man. We're gonna pay the bill. We want this hardware. It's brand new. We need it. We need it now. We want to get content on this thing. We want to get it up. We want to get it hashing. We want to share this beautiful new device with you. Yeah, so 6/11. Paid on 6/11. That's a Wednesday morning, early morning, like 10 a.m. Eastern time. Tuesday, 6/17 rolls around. So the following week, we have no status update. You go to the waybill and you check your waybill and there's no update. It still says on hold at the same sort facility, right? So a ton of phone calls, emails. We reached out through X. We've hardly had any answers, any communications. We used DHL support, US support on Twitter, on X. Finally, on 6/19 at 2 p.m., a random DHL delivery van arrives. They pull into the driveway. I'm like, okay, well, this is promising. They pull in our driveway, right? So let's show you what they brought me. Show you how's the delivery look. Okay. Woosah, right? Woosah. So now we get this thing. The delivery driver goes, hey man, I'm sorry. I don't even know why my boss had me bring this to you. But here it is. We're gonna go ahead and bring you this. We brought it to you anyway. So how did this happen, you ask? I hear you barking, big dog. I hear you barking. Well, on Sunday, June 15th, there was massive flooding. Massive flooding in the area, flash flooding, right? We never get flooding in these areas. We got massive flash flooding. It actually resulted in about 5 deaths in the area. You know, real life prayers and thoughts to those families. But 5 people actually lost their lives 2 hours away where my ASIC, my little who cares ASIC was sitting at. Because I mean, in the bigger picture, people lost lives, real families are affected. It's an ASIC. But let's be real. I've got a $2,000 ASIC sitting there that was flood damaged. Basically, if DHL would have released and shipped my package on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, any of those days, clear up through Sunday evening, I would have got a fully functioning ASIC. So again, the driver apologizes. He says, I don't know why my boss had me deliver this, but I know you're not going to take it. You're going to refuse it, but I had to bring it to you anyway and show you. So we'll pop some more pictures up on the screen. I took a ton of pictures of the item in his van. Of course, then I refused delivery. And that means we sent it back, right? So you would think, okay, well, that's the end of the story, right? You got your refund. Yippee skippy, congratulations. You back in business, get started again. But now for the recoup drama. So we emailed Canaan. We emailed via the Indiegogo site. We emailed DHL very next day on 6/20, both of those. We had no response at all from either. We put a post up on X showing the really nice delivery that they sent us. And it had over like 5,000 views in just a couple days. So then after that, Canaan's official X account, they DM'd me, man, right? They were like, hey buddy, we're sorry this happened. Could you provide us some more details? You know, your waybill number, your order number, yada, yada. So after a number of communications back and forth with Canaan, Shirley from Canaan did refund the $1,680 that I paid, my full purchase price on this guy that I paid. And that happened on July 2nd. So we got a refund. So that's the end of the story, right? Well, no, it's not the end of the story. What about my duties? What about my duties, DHL? Where's the money? Where's the $500 that I spent to you for import duties? For import duties on an item you sat on that was destroyed by an act of God under your care. What about that $500, DHL? Dealing with DHL can be compared to dealing with the DMV. If you're in the US, you know what I'm talking about if you've ever had to actually physically go in and deal with the Department of Motor Vehicles. It is the same thing. Pretty much you get rerouted to an endless automated system. When I finally would get through to a person, I'd give them my waybill number, fully explain the situation, then that rep would go, okay, let me get you to the correct department. They would loop you back into the system, and then half the time that department would loop you to another automated system or an automated answer. And then you leave a voicemail and that would never be called back. And then of course, that's not it. Then of course, a couple of the times when I was about 20 minutes into a call, explained everything to the rep, went down detail by detail, professional, courteous, kind as I could be, then I would just disconnect. Yeah, the rep would just be like, yeah, this sounds complicated. Whoops, click, and disconnect. So, yeah. From my experience, I ended up hitting a US-based call center only once out of a plethora of calls. So they got tons, they're a worldwide company, right? They got tons of call centers. I only had a US-based one once. So what's the problem with that? Well, obviously that causes a language barrier. That means you have to really reiterate all of everything going on. So we went through customer service, claims, duties, disputes, billing, all kinds of different departments, tons. Then we received a response from the email system, from their email, whoever answered their email for customer service that said, we're sorry, only the seller or shipper can open a case to recoup the duties paid. Only the seller of the item that did not pay the duties, only they can put a claim to recoup those duties. I paid those duties, but they should be able to start the case. What? Okay, so I went, okay, well let me reach out to Canaan. I reach out to Canaan, and they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. You need to work with DHL, which, to be fair, I think that's probably the correct answer, right? I reached out to Canaan. I asked if they would open a case, and then I would receive crickets to that response, because really, whether they reopen their case, they should open a case. They should get that refunded, that $1,680, because it was damaged in DHL care, so they should have got paid back as well. But that $500 of duties has nothing to do with them, nothing at all. So anyway, after a number of TMs to DHL on X, we would often get circled around. You get caught in automated responses on there. Their website has like 5 different numbers. You got the automated chat. Finally, on July 30th, I received an XDM from DHL US support that the case is resolved, and a refund of $499.43 will be issued. So finally on 8/1, after only 7 weeks, it only took 7 weeks to get my refund. And yeah, so seven weeks later, I got a refund on the Avalon Q miner that was destroyed while in possession of DHL. Yeah, it's so much like dealing with the DMV. It's the only way that you could actually get something resolved dealing with DHL is finding that one rare customer service rep that actually has compassion, that actually cares about their job. Man, I bet you I spent 8 hours of time, 20 plus phone calls, 15 emails, a handful of direct messages with DHL, and finally recouped those duties. So, fast forward, how did we actually get this guy? This Canaan Avalon Q, because mine was destroyed, right? It got sent back and all that. Well, finally, once we recouped the $1,680 from Canaan, I'm like, well, I got the money back, so let's go ahead and buy one anyway. We reached out to, we went out to Crypto Miner Bros. We didn't order it as altered component. We usually, if we're paying full price, we're going to order as any other customer, low key, and we want to see exactly how the customer service is provided, how we receive the item, so that when it receives, it's just like anyone else would receive it. And then we could have a fair assessment of that item without saying, oh, it's amazing, because they're paying me to say it's amazing. They're not paying me to say it's amazing. So yeah, I ordered on 7/16. I paid $1,689, $9 more, but that's counting shipping. So $9 more than I originally paid, but the duties on this thing were $99.31. So we paid a total of $17.88 on our second purchase compared to $21.79 on the first item that we pre-ordered months in advance direct from the manufacturer on date of release. So yeah, since we ordered it on 7/25, it was delivered on 7/31. Yeah, so why did it take 2 months for me to finally, more than 2 months for me to finally do the build video, do the unboxing and setup?
Many months later.
I'm not gonna lie, it sat here. It sat here in my studio, brand new in the box, because I sat here dejected, just totally dejected by the whole situation, by everything that I've experienced. I didn't even have the energy or motivation. Like I didn't feel happy about this one. Like I wasn't ecstatic to get it up and mining. Like, so literally it was sitting in a box, brand new, chilling, doing nothing. Let's go over our conclusion. A conclusion on the whole situation, the whole saga, the whole drama, the whole legend, the whole terrible, terrible narrative with all the ups and downs. The conclusion here, a few key points. The number one key point, DHL is a terribly set up and terribly run company. It's like they're randomly coding and guessing who should pay what import duties. Like I talked to 4 different people with 4 different amounts charged for the same item, and all US based. So it makes, in the same time frame, it makes no sense how DHL is coding this stuff. For example, how do 2 ASICs, 2 unrelated users, come from the same company, shipped to the same US area, location, same time, coded the same, and then both initially correctly billed, and then it gets released to 2 different costs, right? So like even the appeal, me and Sloth Squatch both appealed, right? His dropped to $330 or something like that. Mine dropped to $500, $499 and some change. Same exact item, same appeal process, same timing. How was his $330 after it was appealed and reassessed? And mine was $500. How does this happen? So it leads to me to ask, where is all that extra money going? I bet there's millions of dollars of overpays on these freaking tariffs that are getting charged by DHL, a worldwide company. Are they giving all that extra money back to the US, the ones that are charged by the US? Or are they going back and then they're correcting them, going, yeah, this one should have been $300, this one should have been $200. Oh, well, it was paid $500. I guess that's another $300 to DHL. What are they doing with all that money? What are you doing with the money, DHL? Maybe you should use that money to invest on a better system, a better claims department, a better overall process of dealing with customers. Point number two, if DHL wouldn't sat on a package, or they don't set on a package after the duties are paid, none of this would have ever happened. We wouldn't be here right now. I would have got my item, I would have been happy, I would have said yippee skippy, yay DHL, yay Canaan. I've got my new miner, I've got it set up, I've got videos done, I'm happy. I hope everyone else is happy, they're getting their items, but that's not how it happened. Point number 3, the endless call trees. 50 different segmented departments. They probably have 50 or more, and they're spread up over different call centers. There's hidden department numbers. You go to their site, there's like 5 numbers that you can call. Then you call one and they're like, oh, you need this department. And I'm like, wait, can I have that number? They give me a new number. It's not one that's listed for this other department. And then another department. There's all these other sub-departments of departments that they won't give you the number if you just go out and look for it. So there's the call trees, there's the hidden department numbers, there's language barriers, of course, but That's normal in any customer service, right? Unless you're completely US based or completely in-home country based, you're gonna have some language barriers. That is what it is. But the terrible customer service, it lends me to say that you need to avoid DHL like the plague. I'll never personally order another ASIC directly from the manufacturer again. Never, unless it's US based, which we know that's not gonna happen. I'll never order again. This isn't an advertisement. Crypto bros saved me money. They saved me lots of headache. They saved me time. Going forward, I'm only gonna use US based companies to procure any of my hardware. Being in an early, in my final last point before we close this thing out is that being an early adopter on mining equipment, it ain't what it used to be. It used to be, if you want to get on the ground floor, you get that first batch, man. You get that new release, you get that pre-order, you get in there before it all sells out. And if you got that first batch, there's a great chance you're gonna pay that off. The early adopter batches used to be like, that was it. That was the golden ticket. You get in, you get that device, you get it mining, and that's how you can ensure that you're gonna get that ASIC paid off. Now, you get in on the early batch, so what? They've already mined it to the keel. They've mined that thing. They've tested it thoroughly for months, and they've got all that hash rate pumped up out there. And then they're selling it to the big companies first, especially on the bigger ASICs, the warehouses, the facilities. They're getting all theirs, and then the consumer gets theirs. So being an early adopter is something that I won't do anymore. I'm not going in. Now, if a company reaches out to me and they say, hey, we got this product, we want you to review it, I'll say, sure, we'll look at the specs and we'll decide if it's for us and if it's a company we even want to deal with. And then, of course, we always disclaim that the product was provided and blah, blah, blah. Then we might actually take one just to give you our fair assessment. But I can tell you, I won't be personally investing into any of the brand new releases anymore. I mean, look at this new gold shell miner that's already tanking at the bottom. Sorry, gold shell. Yeah, it's true. Any of these new miners, they're on batch 2 and they're already dropping significantly. I think this is the most spirited, angry video I've ever done. And I'm not that person. I'm lighthearted. I'm fun. I like to have fun. Like, mining is fun. Mining is life. Like, I only do this for fun. The YouTube doesn't make me money. It makes me have an appreciation of life. I appreciate the hardware. I appreciate my audience and my like miners. That's why I do this. So anyway, we got plenty of more fun content coming up. We got a bunch of more little mini miners and home miners and solo mining projects that we're working on. Fun things for you. But I think that about wraps it up for today. So if you're new to mining, you need some help, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. Always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. And if you liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. DHL, more like DH smell. Am I right?